Gloria Steinem said, "The story of women's struggle for equality belongs to no single feminist, nor to any one organization, but to the collective efforts of all who care about human rights." Happy Women's Day, girlies. Today we are celebrating International Women's Day with you and a special guest. We, the women, need to reinvent ourselves, support each other, and solve our problems ourselves. How? We are trying to learn this by taking insights of various women in workforce and living in different countries. And by your feedback, so do shower us with your love in the comments. Let us know what do you think about Women's Day, why should we celebrate it? Let's meet our special guest in New Delhi, a stunning lawyer from Supreme Court, Vanshaja Shukla. Vanshaja is a graduate from one of the top law schools in the country, National Law Institute, University, Bhopal. She's a lawyer having over 12 years of experience who practices before the Supreme Court of India. She's also an advocate on record, a special category of lawyers who clear an exam conducted by the Supreme Court and are the only set of lawyers who are qualified to file before the Supreme Court. Vanshaja has both extensive private and government practices. She is at present the standing counsel for the state of Uttarakhand before the Supreme Court. Vanshaja consciously accepts pro bono briefs as well by helping cases for women and the destitute. Vanshaja loves to travel, do gardening and painting. Hello, Vanshaja. So good to see you.
Likewise, it's always a pleasure.
Okay, so I just want to know from your viewpoints as we are celebrating International Women's Day. So it's time to stop and think where we have reached as women today. What do you have to say?
I think we are living in a far better times than the generations before us. And I'm talking about generation which is you and me, as compared to what the life our mothers have lived and prior to that. Because not only there's a lot of sensitivity and awareness that the woman herself has about her rights, but also the male companion or the father, the male in the family. So whether it's a father, the brother, or the husband, their outlook and their perspective towards a woman child has taken a paradigm shift. Not that exceptions weren't there earlier. We've had women we had right from Sarojini Naidu to exceptional women doing things going against the tide, but that would have just been an anomaly, which in today's time, I find that the father of the child would have the same dreams and ambitions for a boy child, and you would have a husband who will take you as an equal companion and would not really restrict you and expect you to do your household work only. There would be and I'm not talking about literate family. I have my help, and when he was getting married, I asked him that, would you want your wife to work? He said she's studying, and I would eventually want her to work. So even in rural India, that transition is happening. So we are living in much, much better times, and this needs to grow. This is not the end. This needs to grow.
Correct. So what are your concerns in terms of changes that you would like to see towards a better future for women?
As continuing from my first answer, this needs to grow. As a lawyer, I would see, maybe you and I would be able to speak about empowerment. We are aware of our rights because we are conditioned in an environment. We are born in a setup. But a significant part of us, of Indian women, live in rural India. And where you would, maybe in our society, a dowry debt or asking for dowry would be an anomaly. But those are harsh realities in this country. Bride burning, female feticide. There are cases still prevalent, and that shows those cases. I always feel that these cases are a reflection of how society is thinking. Laws would be there, but the change has to come from within the society. Laws can be a deterrent effect, but eventually we as a society need to grow and understand that these changes have to come through. So yes, and I'm not only speaking of rural India. Let me be very clear. There are a lot of matters I do where I find women coming from very educated backgrounds and are restricted in their thought process because their families haven't let them grow. So let me just generalize, there needs to be growth of thought process, there needs to be more open-minded setup. Particularly, I'm talking about rural India because I keep seeing women talking about empowerment and how things have improved, and would talk about rights and say why don't women take up certain stand. But you do not know exactly how difficult it is to come out of that setup, and for that, all of us together, men and women, need to make a positive change.
You're so right. I just wanted to ask you, like, did you ever think about how do we bring in the mindset change in people? Do you have any ideas or any suggestions which we people can do it on our end?
I, uh, I always suggest this, that instead of leaving everything on the government, there would be government telling you, "Beti bachao, have a hygienic environment, clean your environment that you're living on, or don't spit on the road." But a lot of it, instead of being dependent upon the government, one can make a difference in your own society. For instance, I'm a lawyer, so I'm aware of my rights. I'll have 20 people, many acquaintances and friends who will come and speak with me. I'll make them aware about their legal rights, which doesn't even only means my friend circle, but will also mean my maid. If I had a maid who had taken her brother's son because her bhabhi had passed away, so I made her aware that there's an adoption agency. You need to adopt on paper. So I made her aware of her rights, that she can also be a single mother. And we got the entire process done. So the changes can come by you contributing. I'm a lawyer, of course, but then I'm talking about any literate person. You start making a difference between your helps, friends, making them aware of what their rights are. Basic awareness of rights is very important, and that should not be restricted only to civics classes that you're taught in 8th and 9th standard. Legal rights and legal awareness must be paramount, not only with women, for men also, which I find lacking. All our
Yes.
understanding is through social media.
Absolutely. So, Vanshija, my final question is that the theme of International Women's Day 2021 is choose to challenge. From challenge comes change. So, how would you like to challenge the women today?
We are already challenging, going, right from space to politics to arts and culture. We're already doing great, but I must point out perhaps a change that I would want would be that we should not become. I won't say that's a change, but that's a view that women must keep a balance. They should not become cynical about fact that you're supposed to be about
Take your
bringing
time.
parity with the man. I find that a big dialogue, that you need to be parity. The moment you are trying to be like a man means you're putting the man at a higher pedestal. You are complete within yourself. I would love to drape a sari and I would like to drape a dress as well, but it doesn't makes me more feminine. I would like to do my own rituals and dress up in a particular fashion, and I would still have an independent mind. So a woman who wears a sindoor, or whether it's one of our politicians like late Mrs. Sushma Swaraj,
Shushma Swaraj.
yeah, would wear a sindoor and have a tika and have a bindi. But she would be far more independent in her head and a sterling personality than many others. So don't judge. Women end up judging. While you may just have someone like me or many other counterparts who wear formal trousers and shorts to court or in the meeting. So do not judge. I realize in more than men, women end up judging each other about their, putting them into that stereotype. That's one.
Yes.
And second, every time pushing the dialogue and saying that want to be like a man, or for instance, fathers end up saying this many times, and my father despised it, never said it. हमारी बेटियां ही बेटों की तरह हैं. You are asking the woman to be like a male. You are accepting that the male child is something more. So my father would always say, I have two daughters, and they are good individuals. They're brought up as good children. That's all that matters.
Absolutely. And your thought resonates with other guests also. I have spoken to a lot of ladies this time. And I'm so happy and thankful to you, Vanshija. I know how busy your life is right now. Thank you so much for your time and giving us the insights. And I'm not going to leave you. I will have another interview with you soon to enlighten our friends. Thank you so much,
Always a
Vanshija.
pleasure. Bye bye. Wishing
Bye
everyone
bye.
a happy Women's Day. Keep going high.
Yes. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Dear girlfriends, hope our little effort brings in big smiles and changes. Sweeties, sit down in your garden and think about Vanshaja's challenge. If you are with us in hashtag choose to challenge, then please share this video with all your friends and do encourage us by sharing your thoughts in the comment box below. Use these hashtags to share the post in social media. See you again. Bye-bye.